Greece on Monday froze the assets of a key suspect in the case, Eva Kaili, a vice president in the European Parliament and one of 4 people arrested and charged in Belgium at the weekend, a source with knowledge of the matter said. Kaili's office did not respond to a request for a comment. Qatar has denied any wrongdoing. Belgian prosecutors searched 16 houses and seized €600,000 in Brussels on Friday as part of the probe. The 4 unnamed suspects have been charged with participation in a criminal organization, money laundering and corruption, prosecutors said in a statement on Sunday. The European Parliament said at the weekend it had suspended Kaili from her duties, while the Greek Socialist PASOK party announced it was expelling her from its ranks. There were no replies to calls and emails made by Reuters to their respective offices or homes in Belgium. This is an unbelievable incident which has to be cleared up completely with the full force of law, German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock said as she arrived for a regular meeting with her EU counterparts in Brussels. This is about the credibility of Europe. Irish Foreign Affairs Minister Simon Coveney echoed her concern. It is damaging. We need to get to the bottom of it. Belgian prosecutors said they had suspected for months that a Gulf state was trying to buy influence in Brussels. A source with knowledge of the case said the state was Qatar. A Qatari official denied at the weekend accusations of possible misconduct. Any association of the Qatari government with the reported claims is baseless and gravely misinformed, the official said. The investigation comes as World Cup host Qatar is in the global spotlight, amid criticism of its human rights record, including its treatment of migrant workers. In a speech in the European Parliament on November 21, at the start of the month-long soccer tournament, Kaili lashed out at Qatar's detractors and hailed the energy-rich Gulf state as a frontrunner in labor rights. They committed to a vision by choice and they open to the world. Still, some here are calling to discriminate them. They bully them and they accuse everyone that talks to them or engages of corruption, Kaili said. The scandal is particularly awkward for the parliament, which has seen itself as a moral compass in Brussels, seeking tighter rules on the environment or on corporations, issuing resolutions critical of human rights abuses across the globe and taking EU governments to task. As they arrived at Monday's EU meeting, ministers were quick to condemn the alleged corruption. It is absolutely unacceptable, any kind of corruption, said Czech Foreign Minister Jan Lipovsky. Qatar is an important partner for the energy of the EU, he noted, while adding, of course the relation between the EU and Qatar needs to be built on a set of policies including human rights and labor rights. Some European diplomats told Reuters last month that pressure to maintain good ties with Qatar was increasing as the continent headed towards a winter of energy shortages because of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The European Parliament was due to vote this week on a proposal to extend visa-free travel to the EU for Kuwait, Qatar, Oman and Ecuador. Some lawmakers have suggested the vote should be postponed. Others have called for a debate on the corruption scandal. The Parliament was scheduled to start its plenary session in Strasbourg at 5 p.m., with many members making the trip from Brussels in the morning.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Capitol attack, would have been armed if I was in charge. The notorious provocateur made her comments about the deadly January 6 attack during a speech to a gala of the New York Young Republicans Club on Park Avenue in Manhattan on Saturday night. Hate Watch monitored the event on behalf of the Southern Poverty Law Center. Greene, who entered the U.S. House as a newly elected representative from Georgia last year, said, "January 6th happened, and next thing you know, I organized the whole thing, along with Steve Bannon here. And I will tell you something, if Steve Bannon and I had organized that, we would have won. Not to mention, it would have been armed." She went on, "See, that's the whole joke, isn't it? They say that whole thing was planned and I'm like, are you kidding me? A bunch of conservatives, Second Amendment supporters, went in the Capitol without guns, and they think that we organized that? I don't think so." Among the attendees were the founders of DARE, a white nationalist website that opposes immigration. Greene's speech was recorded, and parts of it were posted on Twitter by Patriot Takes, which monitors far-right extremism. The Congresswoman has a long track record of controversial statements, including racist comments and expressions of support for the far-right conspiracy theory QAnon. In April, she was forced to testify about her actions in the run-up to the Capitol insurrection in a court hearing in Georgia in which opponents attempted to bar her from Congress. The hearing was presented with text messages between Greene and Trump's White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows less than 2 weeks after January 6. In one text, she told Meadows that other Congress members were telling her that the only way to save our republic is for Trump to call martial law. They stole this election. We all know that. Greene told the court she had done nothing wrong and was a victim of the Capitol breach, which has been linked to 9 deaths, including the suicides of traumatized law enforcement officers. She said she had no memory of sending the martial law text. Other speakers at the Park Avenue event also deployed contentious rhetoric. The president of the Young Republican Hosts, Gavin Wax, called for total war against liberals. We want total war, he said. We must be prepared to do battle in every arena. In the media, in the courtroom, at the ballot box. And in the streets. Wax added, "This is the only language the left understands. The language of pure and unadulterated power."
U.S. scientists reach long-awaited nuclear fusion breakthrough, source says. For the first time ever, U.S. scientists at the National Ignition Facility at the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in California successfully produced a nuclear fusion reaction resulting in a net energy gain, a source familiar with the project confirmed to CNN. The U.S. Department of Energy is expected to officially announce the breakthrough Tuesday. The result of the experiment is a massive step in a decades-long quest to unleash an infinite source of clean energy that could help end dependence on fossil fuels. U.S. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm will make an announcement Tuesday on a major scientific breakthrough, the department announced Sunday. The breakthrough was first reported by the Financial Times. Nuclear fusion happens when 2 or more atoms are fused into one larger one, a process that generates a massive amount of energy as heat. Scientists across the globe have been inching toward the breakthrough. In February, UK scientists announced they had more than doubled the previous record for generating and sustaining nuclear fusion. In a huge donut-shaped machine called a tokamak outfitted with giant magnets, scientists working near Oxford were able to generate a record-breaking amount of sustained energy. Even so, it only lasted 5 seconds. The heat sustained by the process of fusing the atoms together holds the key to helping produce energy. The missing mass then converts to an enormous amount of energy. The neutrons, which are able to escape the plasma, then hit a blanket lining the walls of the tokamak, and their kinetic energy transfers as heat. This heat can then be used to warm water, create steam and power turbines to generate power. The machine that generates the reaction has to undergo serious heat. The plasma needs to reach at least 150 million degrees Celsius, 10 times hotter than the core of the Sun. The big challenge of harnessing fusion energy is sustaining it long enough so that it can power electric grids and heating systems around the globe. A UK fusion scientist told CNN that the result of the US breakthrough is promising, but also shows more work needs to happen to make fusion able to generate electricity on a commercial scale. They have worked on the design and the makeup of the target and the shape of the energy pulse to get much better results, Tony Rollstone, from the University of Cambridge's Department of Engineering, told CNN. The opposing argument is that this result is miles away from actual energy gain required for the production of electricity. Therefore, we can say is a success of the science but a long way from providing useful energy.